Okay, minasan, today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 27. This is a really amazing final episode for part 1 of the story itself. And the reason why I said this is because right now the main villain that has been set up from the first episode has been defeated. Glion-sama is no more, but that doesn't mean the threat is over, because by the end of this episode we actually get to see a big Nani the F moment, and that is there is a giant kind of like skeleton looking hands that come up from the gate of darkness. And I believe that is gonna be the demon that all of us has been waiting for, and all of us that has been speculating for. Okay, a lot of us has been speculating about how in episode 2 there's the demon in the storybook. We are eventually gonna meet it, and we might actually get to see the alchemist of the dawn. So we are not sure how the story is gonna go, like who actually is the alchemist of the dawn. But I think that all those stuff we just have to wait for phase 2 of the story just to see how things is gonna go. Okay, but right now let us talk about episode 27, because this episode show us a lot of amazing things. First thing that I really love is Glion's plan. Okay, so Glion from the get-go is like, his catchphrase is like, let everything to be like surrounded and embodied by gold. So in the previous episode breakdown, I actually kind of like theorized a little bit like, what is Glion final end game? So I actually talk about maybe he's like planning to use all those stuff to create the philosopher's stone and all those stuff. But I also mentioned a little bit, I just quickly touched on a little bit on Hand of Midas. So for those who doesn't know what is Hand of Midas, that is like one of the most famous alchemy story, with someone actually created an alchemy that is able to, it's kind of like a magic thing that like they everything they touch is gonna turn into gold. But they are like different variations of the story where someone figure out how to turn something to gold, and the power got misused and being abused, and everything turns into gold, and eventually that someone turns someone into gold or something like that. Okay, so Hand of Midas is something that I felt like Glion's story is leaning very heavily into, and I really love that how at the end of the story we actually get to see Glion getting defeated by Platinum Gotchard, and it's like platinum and gold. Okay, like in terms of credit card, if you really think about it, like platinum is higher than gold. So maybe that is the reason why Gotchard newest form is called Platinum Gotchard. Okay, so maybe, okay, just a funny joke that I never mind. Let me just move on to talk about Kamen Rider Dread. Holy shit, not only we get type 2 in this episode, but we immediately get to see how type 3 is gonna look like, and it looks amazing. I love the Monkey King stuff. I love how he's like dual wielding the weapon and all those stuff. But sadly to say, I would love to see a little bit more of the staff action. Like if they actually give it a little bit more, like just take away the unicorn like sword, the unicorn saber, something like that, and just allow even like maybe one thing they can do is like allow Dread type 2 to actually use the Monkey King stuff. I think that is gonna be so much fun to see. The choreography that comes up from the stuff is gonna be amazing. But because of when it becomes type 3, like one hand they are actually holding the sword and one hand they are holding the stuff, so the choreography involved in dual handling the sword is a little bit limited. And so I would actually prefer if they just allow Dread type 3 to just use the staff as his main weapon, or maybe there is a way for him to switch between, if he want like kind of like damage, then he's gonna use the staff. If he wants speed, he's gonna change over to the saber, something like that. Okay, so I feel like this is just minor like nitpicks that I have, but I think this is really amazing design for Dread. It finally felt like Dread is completed right now. But right now the completed form of Dread, is this the end of Dread, or are we actually gonna see a Type 4 Dread, Type 5 Dread, or maybe we're gonna see kind of like a Dread level up, something like that. I really want to see Dread continue to keep on evolving and evolving further down the line. I think that is definitely the direction that they're gonna go for. So with that being said, let us talk about another rider that we saw, which is Platinum Gotchard. Okay, a new rider, a new form. It looks amazing. I really love it because finally yet another thing in my bingo card is gonna get completed, which is a 10 plus 10 power up. Okay, so we got crosshopper and 10 liner. Finally 10 plus 10, it is happening, boys, and I'm so happy about it. But okay, before I talk about the bird, okay, let me talk about the things I like about Platinum Gotchard. The first thing that I absolutely love is the design. It looks amazing. Love the white color, the gold accent, and the orange accent on the hand piece and the leg piece. All of those things are amazing. I absolutely love it. But here comes the but, okay? The power is a big problem in my opinion, but I think they can easily fix the problem if they actually decide to do it in this manner. Let me explain what is the problem first. So the biggest problem right now is the ability of Platinum Gotchard. Platinum Gotchard right now seems like it is the final form of Gotchard because it has the typical final form vibe of a Kamen Rider itself, which is the ability to use all the other ability of the rider itself, of all the other forms. Like we saw this in Kamen Rider Gaim, his final form is the ability to use all the fruits in the basket itself. So right now we are seeing Platinum Gotchard having the ability to use that ability. He's able to just slot in different Chemy Cards and access their power, access their finisher move. So it really makes me like, wow, this looks like a final form for Gotchard. So it's like, it almost like made me think like, how are they gonna one up themselves from Platinum Gotchard? Where are they gonna go from Platinum Gotchard? And I felt like the biggest answer to that is definitely gonna be the Philosopher's Stone. Okay, I felt like the Philosopher's Stone is definitely gonna be the final answer, the final form of Gotchard. I'm not sure how they are gonna achieve that, but we just have to wait and see when it actually happens. And speaking of a final form, there's a leak rumor we saw a long time ago regarding a dragon, okay, like a dragon, and we actually speculated it to be kind of like a Rainbow Gotchard form and something like that. But right now, after seeing how the story is progressing, I don't think Rainbow Gotchard is actually gonna be the final form of Gotchard itself. I feel like it's definitely gonna be something different. I don't think Rainbow Gotchard cuts it for the final form right now because it is too similar to Platinum Gotchard, especially the Henshin gimmick. So right now, what I speculate for Rainbow Gotchard, like I felt like the dinosaur, the dragon is still definitely gonna be a thing, but it might not actually be for Gotchard itself, but it is actually gonna be Majet, okay? Because right now, so far, if you pay a close attention to Majet, is that the Majet combo right now is always one fantasy card and one elemental card. So not elemental card, but one planetary card. So we got Unicorn, a fantasy monster, and then we got the Sun, which is a so kind of like a solar system card, something like that, a planet if you really want to call it, or stars. Okay, let's just call it one of the stars. So we got Unicorn and the Sun, and then the next thing is we got Kerobarus, which is a fantasy monster, and then we got the Moon, which is also part of the planetary system. And now we got the two original level 10 Chemy card, the first two Chemy card, which is Dragonolus, which is a fantasy type card, and Gayato is a planetary card itself. So I really believe that Dragonolus and Gayato is gonna be the the dragon that we saw, the gimmick that we saw, and it is not gonna be used by Gotchard, but instead it's gonna be used by Majed itself. So if they actually choose to go with that, I think it is gonna be fantastic. I really hope they give Majed a really fantastic final form, and I'm really excited about it. And right now, so far, what we saw, I felt like they can definitely give Majed final form to look quite similar to the crystal form of Kamen Rider Wizard, which is a form which I really like. It is a form of kind of like a prism, a very, I'm not sure how to explain the color, but it just looks so, it looks like a crystal. And I felt like if Majed actually have that aspect of design as her final form, I think it's definitely going to be really fantastic, because one thing we saw from Dragonola's design is that it is full of crystal. So I believe like if that is what they are going for, just go ahead and design that. It's gonna be fantastic. Okay, so really subarashi thing. But now we have to talk about all the rest of the side characters. Sabi and Renge, in my preview video on this episode, I actually talked about how usually they are not gonna focus on the side character when all the riders are actually still in good shape and they are actually able to fight. But one thing that I in the preview video that I made, I talk about how it is very interesting for us to see Renge and Sabimaru is actually fighting. And in this episode, we get to see why they are actually fighting. It is to show their character development, and they actually, after what happened to them, they actually improve as a student. They learn combat alchemy, and all this while the reason why they are being so shitty in the thing they do is because they are not capable. They are not like their main way of alchemy is not on combat itself. But right now we actually get to see that they learn how to fight using alchemy, and right now they are able to stand toe to toe with Cloto and Atropos before they become Malgam itself. So and that is really important, I really believe. But whether or not Isaac is gonna make a return is also another big question mark, because in this episode, Sabimaru loses the tablet of Isaac. So I hope that he's just gonna say goodbye to Isaac and he's just gonna start to talk using his own voice. I think that is very important for his character development, because if you really think about it, for him to not use Isaac to talk anymore and just use his own personal voice to talk is gonna be the best character development that we saw in the entire series itself. Okay, so really fantastic thing we get to see. And another really fun thing we get to see is the Zukyun anti-brainwashing shield, something like that. That is so good, like for us to actually see that it came out of nowhere. But then again, it is also very fun, okay, because it like they has to find a way to prevent Atropos from brainwashing them and mind control them, and they figure out a way. So that is really subarashi. Okay, so amazing stuff here. I really love this episode. I think they did a fantastic job on ending the thread of Glion, and at the same time introducing the second half of the story, because it's like right now there's so much mystery, and it actually get me excited to talk about the story one again. And we are not sure what does the ending actually mean, because Glion was taken into the Gate of Darkness. Is he dead? I don't think he's dead, but right now, what is next? What is Lakeshi planning? Because right now Lakeshi actually helped Minato to get into the Ouroboros realm and other stuff. But what is her plan? Like, is she planning to kind of like join them, or is she gonna be her own kind of like a third party evil thing going on for Lakeshi? So we're not sure how things are gonna go, because the thing that she's afraid of, the Glion is gone right now. So there's no reason for Lakeshi to be with the good guy anymore. So we just have to wait and see how things are gonna go. Like, is Lakeshi gonna just continue to mess with Spana and all those stuff, or is it gonna be a different idea that, like I say, is just gonna become the nun that she always wanted to be. Remember, she wore a nun uniform in the first few episodes of the series, and all of us like went nuts about it. Maybe she's gonna go back to becoming a nun. Okay, maybe not. We're not sure, but I think the biggest question right now is what is in the cube? What is in the cube of Glion? Because we actually saw that he actually keeps quite a lot of stuff in the cube itself. Like one of the things he keeps in the cube is Dragonalas, a level 10 Chemy card. So what is to say that inside that cube contains more stuff that we are not sure, like what is in there? Maybe something even more dangerous is inside that cube that we are just not sure what is it about. Okay, but Atropos know what is it about. She pick it up, so maybe Atropos is gonna gain a power up. Hopefully, I think that is definitely how they are gonna make things even more interesting. But I just want maybe for the next few episodes to be kind of like a cooldown episode, but at the same time in the cooldown episode it is also kind of like a more personal episode for different character. I feel like this is definitely the best way to go about things right now, just to make things not so serious and not so war ending, just to let things chill a little bit before they ramp things up back again to end the series. Okay, so I think that is pretty much it from me from Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 27. Very fun episode. And before I leave, one last thing I really want to talk about is the sword that Minato actually used. When I saw the design of the sword that Minato used, it actually reminded me of the sword of Excalibur from Fate Stay Night. It looks very similar. The handle guard and all the stuff, it looks really similar to Excalibur from Fate Stay Night. But with that being said, that is all from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far into the video, means you absolutely love what I bring to the table, something like that. Okay, so in order to let the people know that you finished the video, you can comment the word Artoria in the Arteria. I don't know what is the proper pronunciation, but if you watch Fate Stay Night, you know what I'm talking about. Arteria, Arthuria. Yeah, that is the word to let everyone know you finished the video. That is all from me. Hope you enjoy. If you like what you see, subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye.